Say hi to my dad. I still do not have my teacher desk to start making the classroom look cute. It really is up to you and what's best for you and what's best for your students and truly just what is functional for you. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my classroom for the 2025-2026 school year. This is technically day 2 of preschool. Teachers, their first day was on Friday. It was a lot of things going on. Today is Monday, and we have the rest of this week to be preparing for the school year. So a lot of things have happened already. Friday was a huge moving day. I am moving classrooms this year, so classroom setup this year compared to last year is going to be a lot more intensive. I am excited for my new room. I'm excited to hopefully be in this room for the whole school year. My particular school was kind of under construction last year and is still kind of under construction, but I shouldn't need to be moving classrooms throughout the year, kind of like how I was last year. But I'll kind of give you a look to see the state of my classroom currently. And then I am going to start moving some things around, maybe kind of unpacking things. My dad should be coming here in less than an hour or so to help kind of place some of the bigger furniture and move some of the different things. So we will see what happens with that. But take a look at my classroom presently. So obviously you can see along this wall over here is a huge line of windows, which I love. I have all my things just kind of on the side over here. And then really very standard things for a classroom. And truly, there really is just a lot of things to do. So I'm very grateful for this new school year. I am teaching 9th grade ELA and a journalism elective this year, so I'm very excited about that. And presently, my largest class is 36 students, so we'll kind of see what happens there. But let's start trying to unpack and kind of get things moving as I wait for my dad to get here and help me out. Say hi to my dad. Now we're gonna keep moving some things, but now that he's here, we can really get some things moving. I don't know if you wanted to use this one instead. Checking in to say that it is the end of the school day. I say school day, but the work day. It is definitely way past that. It's like 4 o'clock and the day ends at 3:10. So I need to get out of here. But I am so grateful for the progress already made. I'm really tired, so I'm just going to kind of show you from my vantage point what the room currently looks like. So far, just so happy with how it looks. This might not seem like very much progress at all, but trust me, so much progress. So I'm very happy with today's progress. I'm very grateful for my dad who just helped move a bunch of things either out or to their respective spots. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this room comes together by the end of the week, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. I'm telling myself not to get stressed out because if you are a fellow teacher who is not necessarily type A, but maybe like a B positive is kind of what I tell myself I am, it is stressing me out a little bit. but I know I have the rest of the week ahead of me and a lot more time to work in my class. Today was kind of taken up by a lot of meetings before lunchtime, and I only really had after lunchtime till now to work on it. But again, I'm very happy with the progress. I'm going to choose to not stress out and to just take things day by day because that's all we can do. So, looking forward to tomorrow and what I can get done. Good morning and happy Tuesday. Today's plan is pretty simple. In a couple hours, I'm heading off to a district kind of training, and then the district training also lasts for like an hour and a half, so not even too long, thankfully. And then the rest of the time is in my classroom. So now that largely the things that I need are in the room, I am going to kind of continue unpacking, trying to set up the desks, and really just try to decorate and set up the classroom. Truly, we'll see what we get done today. But let me show you my biggest offender in my class right now. The biggest offender currently is the fact that I still do not have my teacher desk. I'm going to make that one of the goals today to have my teacher desk in the spots where these two desks are because I definitely need that in this class. But also, something that I'm going to keep doing in this spot is continue looking at our student information system because as I'm looking through things, I need to start taking into account what I need to email administration about, like class sizes and things like that. The first week of school is always kind of up in the air because some students don't update their information about if they've moved or if they're going to a different school, things like that. But I'm looking at some of my gradebook student lists, and my biggest class I thought was like 36 students, but now my biggest class at this very moment is 38 students. So I need to start making note of this to email administration about and kind of figure out because until something is figured out, I need to be prepared, obviously, for 38 students in my little classroom. So I need to get the desk set up, continue unpacking things, and kind of go from there. So, in the midst of back to school prep and classroom setup, I am once again very grateful that our particular district, and I have a feeling that other districts do this too, but we do have $300 to use towards school supplies and most specifically supplies for students, which I am just very grateful for because things can just add up so quickly. So if you saw my last year's classroom setup prep, one of the things that I typically get year to year are extra student notebooks. Right now, they go for I think like 35 or 40 cents each. It is college ruled. It is a composition book. I thought about getting spiral bound this year because I do have students turn in things on pieces of paper, obviously, but when I was comparing the Target brand composition books and spiral bound books, these just felt a bit sturdier and I am hoping that it has a bit more longevity. So I got a bunch of these in different colors. Currently, I have found like 16 of them. So I have 16 right now. Something that I also love to get with that lead money, I think is what they call it, is a bunch of filler paper as well, with it being college ruled. So I got a good handful of these, and currently I am going to just kind of place them in this cubby next to me. But I also just know that once school officially starts, I'll probably give maybe a few days or a week or so before I hand out my extras, because obviously as teachers, we want to overcome as many barriers as possible to a student's learning. And sometimes it can be as simple as a pencil or notebooks or paper. So throughout the first week, I'll ask students to buy their own notebook and get their different materials. And then by the time week 2 rolls around is a good time for me to be like, okay, and I kind of put it this way, and I say, if you were not able to go shopping this weekend, raise your hand and I will give you a notebook. And it kind of gives students the opportunity to be like, oh yeah, I wasn't able to go out shopping, and so I'd like a notebook. So that is the plan for that. Just something that I do from year to year. And again, I'm just grateful for the district giving us that money, most specifically for student supplies. And I will say, as a little bit of an update, I did have a handful of extra notebooks from last year that I didn't even need to pass out. So hopefully, as I continue unpacking what I have and trying to place different things, hopefully I'll find those and then also just put them over here. Something that I can see as a pro to moving classrooms, as much of a struggle as it can be, is that it really gives me the opportunity to be a little bit more brutal with what things I keep and don't keep. Currently, I am kind of trying to put my classroom library books in one place right now, and there's a lot that I'm just going to go ahead and donate that I've inherited just from other teachers or other classrooms. Others I'm just going to need to set aside anyway, because I need to make sure that my online classroom library checkout thing is up to date. And also, I don't really have a bookshelf where I can put these books. So right now, just kind of sorting through them and putting them in bins for right now.
Expensive for your budget, and that's totally fine if it is, because there is no shame. A lot of people are just trying to do the best they can, and it doesn't make you look bad.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. I'm pretty happy with how things went yesterday. I definitely unpacked a lot of things, and that was definitely very nice. We had some meetings this morning, and technically, I should be free for the rest of the day. So, I decided to wear a very happy Hawaiian shirt today because it is finally time, sometime today, to start making the classroom look cute or just making it happier. Right now, the classroom is looking pretty good. A lot of things are unpacked, but on this side over here, I have these bulletin boards that need to be decorated. I'm gonna start cleaning up the whiteboards, and that is gonna happen sometime today, and I am very excited for that. But now that I finally have time in my room, I do need to send out a few emails. to kind of get things moving with installing things and this and that. So let's get those emails sent and let's just do a bunch of other things. So things are definitely moving along. It's about 2:10. I am going to tackle these boards behind me. I put it as a goal to myself to at least do one of the boards, and I think I'm going to use this. This is one of my favorite papers to use for bulletin boards. It is the Better Than Paper bulletin board roll. Specifically, this is in the light brown. So going to work through that because I think I'm going to use like this part of the board for like my personal things. So let's get going. So also really quick cut in to say that this is the first time I have bought border in probably years. I got this from Amazon and it is supposed to look kind of like a vintage kind of frame. So I'm really excited to see how this looks. All right, wow, is it perfect? No. But do I love it? Yes. So let's keep going again. The thing that I'm going to first put on this bulletin board next to my desk is my beloved Progress Over Perfection banner. So I am going to kind of experiment a little bit with this part of the bulletin board because I do want to have on the spaces in this classroom, not just decorations, but things that students can actually use to refer back to. So I think I am going to use these. These are from East Nash Teacher. I really like this ACES transition thing. I did cross out this first one where for the citing, I crossed out the example of as noted in paragraph 3, and it's not a way I want to teach my students to cite. She gives a lot of other examples. And then another one I'm going to use is a parts of speech, visual, and then just kind of other ways to say common things. I think this one will be especially useful for my journalism class, but we will see. So I'm going to experiment a little bit. I'll put this kind of in the upper section over here and then maybe leave this bottom section open. We'll see. Wow, guys. It is 3:45. Contract time technically ended at 3:10. So I am here well past the time I should be gone, which I do not advocate for staying past your contract hours. Just personally, it's just gotta happen sometimes, especially when getting ready for school. So behind me, I am very happy with how this one turned out, all things considered. I think what I want to try to push myself to finish out the day with is to finish putting up this half of the bulletin board with at least the templates for what I want up there. Again, I will definitely leave by 4:30. I will leave by then, but let's try to get this stuff done. Good morning. It is Thursday. It is Friday Eve, and it's definitely crunch time around here, you could say. Today, I have a good number of meetings kind of spread out throughout the day, so I'm going to try to really tackle certain parts of my classroom. Really, it's in a really good spot. But there's just some more things I want to do with the boards. I want to try to hang some more things in different places, but it is crunch time. So let's see what we can get to today. So partially to start things off, I am going to create my to-do list for today. And I'm also going to have playing in the background the school safety training. So I'm going to multitask and try to get this done as well. Now, I'm just doing this because I have the time and there's really nothing on YouTube that I want to have listening and playing in the background. So even though the school safety training isn't due until the end of August, I might as well try to knock out a few of them.
Safer school environment for yourself, your coworkers, and the students. Special training must be selection. People abuse children. They believe no. At the selection segment, or excels in teacher's subject matter. Sometimes the students extreme and while leaning over girlfriend long.
She is so immature, Ben. It is so terrible.
Special education classrooms. Heated comments. Ensure that your comments do not incite others to make discriminatory voices between staff members and students. Generally, these policies prohibit personal relationships with students, except in school relationships may lead to acts of sexual intimacy or other types of sex on or off campus, during or after course, if needed.
Happy Friday, you guys. It is currently 8:15, been here for a few minutes, and just learned that the TV that needs to be mounted in my classroom needs to be like shifted over. Still on that same wall, but definitely shifted over. So that will just be very interesting to say the least, but we'll work with it because that truly is the only wall that it can be on. Otherwise, my husband should be coming within the hour to kind of help me out with removing the little cubbies from the desks. I'm probably going to move the textbook boxes so that Ryan can get to all the desks. And then I think I need to set up my whiteboard with like my different sections and preps listed and do that. There are some different meetings kind of spread out throughout the day, so I'll do my best to do what I can, but I'm very excited for Ryan to get here. And all this just reminds me that as long as I have the number of desks that I need for the Tuesday that I'm teaching, because Monday is basically like a big freshman orientation thing, as long as I'm ready for that, I'll be good. I can change things later if I want, and it'll be okay. I really should always say this at the beginning of the video, but this is also your public service announcement that you don't need to go crazy with decorating your classroom like I sometimes do. Just do what makes you happy, and that is a good environment for you and a good environment for your students. So always remember that. But I'm going to try to get some things done before my first meeting in about half an hour. Checking in to report that it is currently 10 till 5.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Once again, I do not advocate for staying late in your class. But in my scenario where I am kind of a crazy person and I like to decorate, that took a lot of time. Plus, I was moving classrooms. So lots of kind of factors here. Plus, even though the meetings were useful, there's still meetings that took up time in the week. So Ryan and I, our last kind of thing we're trying to work through is to create circles for my 38 desks that I need to fit in my classroom for at least the first week of school. I'm basically begging one of my assistant principals to shift schedules around so that maybe 35 total.
Let me break it down for you real quick. So the initial problem was 38 desks in a room of this size with a corner wall. So that means you can't have an equal number of rows or columns. You can have an equal number of columns but not rows. So it's like, how do you do it? Is it like 4 rows of 6, 6 rows of 4? Eventually it was like 5 rows of 6 with one on the end and one on the other end that weren't the same. There's just no there's always like 5 desks left over that had nowhere to go. Otherwise, everybody would be trapped. If we did like 4 rows of desks touching, there was going to be no way to get all the desks in there without people being literally trapped from leaving the classroom, including her. So, circles.
We think this is gonna work. It's not gonna be spacious, but it'll be technically more space for, like Ryan said, for the kids to get out if need be, and for me to walk around. I think we should keep the circle idea as much as Guys, it has been 2 weeks of students being back. I just finished my 3rd week of school, technically. 2 weeks of students, though. And the fact that I am just now filming this outro will probably kind of show you how things have been going, but my classroom setup is basically done. I will film a classroom tour video eventually, but for right now, I am still kind of adding things as I go along, and it has been a wild ride. This is also a public service announcement to remind you that you do not have to decorate your classroom as much as I have decorated or will decorate in the future. It really is up to you and what's best for you and what's best for your students, and truly just what is functional for you. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you, and I will catch you guys in my next video. See ya.